So exactly 2 weeks ago, I made a community post asking you guys about your opinions on the glorious Model O. And everyone said same thing, expensive. So I thought to myself, what if I make myself a cheaper Model O? So I attempted to make a knockoff glorious Model O, which has the same shape, some RGB, and the ability to click 20 CPS. This is also my first time modding a mouse, so if anything's wrong, please don't bash me in the comments. So how did I make it? The first thing I did was to get myself a mouse that had the exact same shape as the Model O. And I decided to pick the Ajazz AJ390R. I chose this because although it doesn't have the best switches, it does have a very good sensor. Overall, this mouse gives me a little bit of the Model O vibe, but there are some really big flaws on this mouse. They use Huano switches for all the buttons on this mouse, and it sucks. They are so hard to press with max jitter clicking requires more effort than necessary. The mouse does double click, but due to the high debounce timer on the sensor, it cannot drag click or butterfly click at all. And finally, the circuit board on this mouse is so messed up. I tried to replace the Huano switches with some Armor 50M, and somehow I broke the right click and the sensor just didn't work properly anymore. But wait, I could just replace the board with something else that is even better, right? Well, luckily for me, I actually opened up my favorite mouse from Minecraft, which is the Crochet Kata Pro. It has a nice square circuit board that fits and aligns perfectly with the main buttons, and without much hesitation, I actually bought another Kata Pro for this video. You better subscribe. But first, I'm gonna paint the mouse. This was also my first time spray painting, so yeah. I planned on using dark blue, but sadly I couldn't get any spray can that has a dark blue color. So I just used regular blue, and the finished product turns out really good. Here, check it out. This is something that I seriously didn't want to do, but I had to get the sensor of the Kata Pro to work properly with a new shell, because you can't replace sensor from this mouse to another. To do that, we need to cut out the square part of the Kata Pro and then attach it into the Ajazz shell. Simple enough, huh? Well, it wasn't easy at all. Since I didn't have any professional tools to cut the plastic, I literally had to cut it out myself with my bare hands, and you guessed it, it wasn't fun at all. In the end, I finally got that square part cut out of the shell, and the next thing I had to do is to stick it into the Kata Pro board, and it actually worked properly. For the Ajazz shell, I cut out a hole off camera because it took way too much time. And eventually, I got it lined up perfectly with the Kata Pro board. It doesn't look too good, but at least the sensor works, and the screw reel also aligns with the shell in the right place. The last thing we're gonna do is to get the cable to work with a new shell. I didn't record the whole process because I was an idiot, but here's how I did it. I originally planned it on using the Ajazz cable because it's lighter and fits better on the mouse casing, but unfortunately when I tried to do it, I just ended up breaking the entire thing, which is kinda stupid. So even though I didn't want to, I had to use the Kata Pro cable, and it turns out really bad, but hey, at least it worked. The side buttons, however, were really time consuming. I don't want to waste your time too much, so here's the footage of me getting the side buttons lined up. And it actually works. I didn't attach the DPI click because I never used it, so I just left the button there to fill up the gap on the mouse.
tripping over my flows.